Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new couple of episode playthrough of the Realm of Pugmire. With me today are obviously four lovely doggy adventurers who are going to join us on a little escapade through the city of Pugmire. I want to preface this first. We've been calling it Pugmire for ages because we're British and that's how we pronounce the IRE. And then it actually took me yesterday or a couple of days ago to watch the actual publishers, which is Onyx Pass Publishers, who made Pugmire, to actually say like, oh, we're playing Pugmire, and I was like, what? So yeah,
what do they know?
if we've
who's to say they're right?
Yeah. Their own game. Who's to say they're right?
Yeah.
So yes, we're playing Realm of Pugmire. If you know anything about Pugmire, it's actually was a game that was released back in 2016, 2017. And we only just found out recently that they've remodeled it a bit. They've made some changes and now have re-released it, and it's now available to buy online. Where you get your usual RPGs from, and it's renamed the Realm of Pugmire. So we're going to have a little playthrough of it and see how it goes. So is everyone ready?
Yes.
Awesome. Actually, I'll say welcome to everyone. Hello, Dan. Hello, Julia. Hello, Chris.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Livy. Hello. Dan has very kindly enough let me sit in the big boy seat again.
I've been usurped again.
Nate loves doing that to you.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
He loves me sitting in his big boy seat. Yeah, let's start with welcoming you to the kingdom of Pugmire. Within the high walls contains a bustling and diverse city, enriched with a variety of cultures, characteristics, and species. Pugmire is split up into 4 well-known districts, and we're starting ourselves in the Southgate district of the city. For many, this is actually their first impression of the city, as it holds the large gates that welcome people from other neighbouring towns, cities, and monarchies. Many come through the Southgate looking to sell their wares, or even to find exciting new objects to buy. Some come looking for adventure, while some come to seek rest from previous excursions. We're going to pan over now to a small, modest church, just a short way from the large gates. A speck of a building compared to the Chapel of St. Anna, which can be found in the West Wall, but still a secure safe haven to the faithful who seek solace and guidance. Following the faithful of the Church of Man. A quiet hush falls over the congregation as a hulking large dog with folds of skin billowing over his vestment approaches the lectern. His large paws play softly upon his religious text, and his drooping jowls lifting just enough to produce a warm smile. Welcome, everyone.
Sorry, carry on.
This is the voice that I'm doing for all of the dogs. The rest of
Love it.
Welcome, everyone. I'm seeing a fair few new faces today, so let me introduce myself. My name is Father Bartholomew Mastiff, and I'm delighted you joined us today to praise another day in our devotion to man. Like many of you, you probably felt the calling of the old ones who came before us, those who left their teachings to future generations, so we too one day may sit by the side of man. Teachings of the code of man that all good dogs abide by. He raises his paw to some large scriptures that are hanging upon the wall. Obey the master. While man is the one true master, we must follow those in charge and respect hierarchy. It is the very reason how Pugmire became the prosperous kingdom it is today. Bite only those who endanger you. Do not harm those who mean you no harm. Defend your home, not just bricks and mortar, but your family and kin. Stay loyal to those who are true, for man is true, much as your family, friends, and this city. Protect all from the unseen. Protect your brethren from hidden dangers. Fetch what has been left behind. Seek the work of man to bring you closer to his side. And most importantly of all, be a good dog. For only a good dog can fully ascend to their true potential and sit by the side of man.
The words from Father Mastiff carry out throughout the open door of the church as two rather small Jack Russell merchants stroll past, pulling a cart filled with wares ready to sell.
Bloody well be a good dog,
one of the Jack Russells say.
Funny how being a good dog only involves what they bloody well preach.
The two dogs pass by an inn, looking longingly at the patrons inside, wishing themselves warm and waiting for a slap-up breakfast. It's about mid-morning. While the Church of Man and its teachings may not sit well with some dogs in Pugmire, they know that some scriptures passed down from the old ones could have only come from the most divine powers, the most holy of meals, with a melody of meats, eggs, and toasted bread, titled The English Breakfast. And this very inn that we pass by, known as the Beggar's Bowl, serves the best in town. The doors open to the inn on this chilly, crisp morning, and we see a rather tall, black German Shepherd dog walk through as she lifts her staff and sort of places it nicely to sort of hold the door open for others. Livy, would you like to introduce us to your character?
Of course. So my character is Sister Onyx. She is a devout woman, female dog, bitch.
I mean, yeah.
She's a devout bitch.
Yeah, baby.
So yeah, she'll be. She holds open she kind of is looking around this thing. She doesn't normally go much out of the church building, where she spends a lot of time reading scriptures and looking over the tenets of man, discovering various things. But she's been sent out on a special kind of mission from her church, so she's out into the main fold. So she's just kind of looking around, letting out some little ones, just man be with you, as they all come in. And she kind of waits, looks looks nobody else coming through. She takes her staff. You see her staff is a sort of very long, and on the top is a sort of spherical, sort of yellow ball that looks probably quite common to some people. And she just sits down on a sort of chair, looking a little bit awkward as she waits for the others, or waits for whoever she's waiting for.
Yeah, because you have invited a couple of others. You may not be so knowledgeable about a couple of the other couple of dogs who are coming along, but you definitely know one of them. Could you tell us a little bit how you know this dog?
So I've invited along Bourbon. Onyx is very familiar with the family of Pudel. They give generously to the church. We're on reasonably polite speaking terms. We know of one another. But Onyx isn't too enthusiastic about how they present themselves within the church. She feels that the they don't follow the tenets of man as they should, and generous donations of plastic should not be mistaken for devotion. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, they paid for the new church roof, but that doesn't mean that they're good dogs in the eyes of man. That's all I'm saying.
Very interesting. As you're thinking about this dog who you've invited along, it's almost as if you're thinking about him. Opens the door and in walks through a large poodle type dog. Dan, would you like to introduce us to your character?
Yeah, so a somewhat remarkably tall but decidedly lanky white furred poodle kind of ducks in through the doorway. The sort of like the frizzy afro style hairdo, just kind of grazing across the bottom of the door frame. And as Bourbon takes a little look around, there's a slight sort of like raise of the eyebrows, a scrunch of the snoot at the smells of the common folk. And Bourbon reaches into like a pocket in this on the inside of the very expensive red and black silk jacket that he's wearing, and he produces a little powder mirror kind of thing, and he kind of dabs some powder on the end of his snoot just to try and disguise some of the smells of poverty. And with a click, the powder box closes up and it goes back in the pocket, and he looks around clutching a what looks like a large kind of spoon type implement with a cut like that, but the end of the spoon is kind of curved back to like hold this orb. And I mean, it looks like if the orb wasn't attached, that it could be used to throw the orb really, really far. But no, this is a magical and ancient artifact that Bourbon has come into possession of.
Exactly.
And yeah, as there's a dismissive kind of gaze around the room, spying Onyx, he delicately tiptoes over, not to be quiet in any way, just to try and avoid the filth and the muck on the floor.
His velveteen shoes sticking
Yes.
to the...
Yes, absolutely. And hello, I say to you as I arrive.
Onyx stands up and you see as soon as she stands up, she's taller than the Bourbon. She just very politely Master Padel.
And Bourbon holds a hand out, like palm down, as if to, like in a you may kiss the ring kind of action.
Sister Onyx just kind of sort of takes it and just takes it.
Yeah, and I like flicking my tailcoats out. Bourbon takes a seat and kind of does the thing where like legs and arms all come into center mass to try and not touch anything.
During your overthinking of how can I avoid touching anything in this place, you allowed the indoors to sort of just slam quite abruptly onto a rather long-snooted dog who was following in just behind you, that you obviously had paid no attention to. But you invited this dog along, Bourbon, so can you describe a little bit about her, or how you met?
Well, yes, ever since a very fateful trip wherein I found this immensely powerful and important artifact of man that I now wield to cast magics that you couldn't believe. Ever since that trip, I've decided, like Bourbon has decided to keep the guide from that trip, for all intents and purposes, on retainer.
No.
However, it is a very, well, as far as Bourbon is concerned, it's a very kind of Blackadder,
Baldric
relationship.
I'm not the Baldric to your Blackadder.
where I nearly, to the point where I forget that this guide was behind me and allowing this heavily laden borzoi to get clogged by the door.
Yeah, so Julia, as your character just sort of rubs her nose slightly and sort of opens the door back into the inn, would you like to introduce us to your character?
This is Abigail. Very long nose and very, very sad borzoi. She is kind of upper middle-aged to approaching elderly. She was living a really contented life in the woods until Bourbon found her. And essentially, like, a combination of paid and bullied her into being his guide on retainer. Because she's Abigail retreated from society some years ago when she'd just had enough of everybody's scat, basically, and decided that she would exist far more peacefully out in the wilds, protecting the wilds from danger, protecting herself from dogs she doesn't like. And then Bourbon found her, and now she finds herself far more often than she'd like, trailing around after him, carrying his things, accompanying him on journeys, I suppose, keeping him safe, using her knowledge of the wilds, but really would much prefer not to be with this Pudel character. She just looks really sad, and there's a kind of as the door hits her, and then she sadly kind of pushes it open, rubs her snout, carries all of Bourbon's things in, and just sort of goes off to sit at the next table. I think she looks really
You're not
sad.
going to join them.
She's at the next table. They can talk to her if they want, but she's like, she knows that Bourbon doesn't tend to include her anyway. She's just the guide.
Oh dear.
Sorry, did I bring the mood down already?
Oh, poor Abigail.
She's fine. She loves to feel miserable. That's her thing.
Fair enough. Abigail, as you find a table sort of fairly close, but on its own, kind of nice in a nice shady dark corner, so no one has to look at you.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Your ears sort of pick up a little bit when you hear a very familiar sort of yapping from a dog you've known before, and you saw them just very recently, and you passed by and you kind of said like, "Oh, I'm going to be in the beggar's bowl if you want to pass by." So tell us how you know this character.
I think Abigail probably knows this dog because, I mean, yes, she lives in the wild, but she needs stuff. She needs equipment, she needs weapons and things. I think she probably bumped into this dog at some point, maybe when she was on a trip, sort of one of her rare trips into the city to kind of pick up supplies and things like that. I think they tried to sell her some things, and I think she sort of reluctantly bought a couple of their wares, and they've sort of been a kind of, a kind of a useful contact ever since, I suppose. I wouldn't say Abigail likes them, because Abigail doesn't really like anybody, but they don't always annoy her. So they're willing. She's willing to buy their stuff from time to time.
As you hear this sort of yapping, your ears prick up and you look over and you see sort of sitting by on a closer table, this familiar, much smaller dog compared to the rest of you. Chris, would you like to introduce us to your character?
Sitting at the table, kind of alert and watching what's going on, kind of keeping eyes open at all points in time with big fluffy ears. Very, ears far too big for their own face, really. But that's either a trait or a cute feature, depending upon how you feel about such things. Is a small, what's known as a Prague ratter. It's kind of looks a little bit like a tiny Doberman. Real tiny Doberman. But they come in both smooth and fluffy formats. So this is a slightly more long-haired version of that. Wearing quite fine clothes. Still got a really predominant necklace around his neck, and probably sitting in the church, kind of cleaning his fingernails with a blade, just sitting there, chilling.
We're in a tavern?
Yeah.
Or a church?
Tavern,
We're in
sorry.
it. Okay.
Tavern, sorry. My brain placed with church. Sitting in the tavern, just kind of at a table, just kind of watching what's going on. And as Abigail comes in, he will do a little wave and just sort of go back to watching and cleaning his nails, just kind of delicately.
I was going to say a tavern is a church to some people. So,
Yeah.
As you're sort of picking at your nails, picking at your claws, and you see Abigail, and you sort of wave to her, and pick at your nails a bit more, and your eyes sort of scan across the inn. You're surprised that you didn't notice her because she's so tall, and usually a lot of the time, not very many. Is it a herder? Your type is called Livy?
Yeah.
A herder. You don't see very many herders. You don't see many sisters and brothers of the church come in here, which makes it even more surprising because you know this dog as well. And as you get up from your seat to actually go and greet her, how do you know Sister Onyx?
I forgot to mention my character's name. So Adrian knows Sister Onyx through, I think, some work that he may have done for Sister Onyx's religion. Maybe they wanted to find certain things, and being an ex-merchant, Adrian can be very useful at finding things to sell to people, but of course didn't charge the church, gave willingly and respectfully. So yeah, and I think that Sister Onyx is the contact that was sent out to find a merchant such as Adrian, or vice versa.
Yes, Sister Onyx, you see Adriana start approaching you to wish you good day.
Hello. Good day to you.
Oh, Adrian.
Adrian, yes.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank
I hope you haven't been getting up into any mischief. I hope you had a good impression on you. There's always space for little wonders like you in the church. You could You could put all of it into such great use.
I appreciate your observation of me. I appreciate it a lot. However, the church is not for me. It is, but I will willingly give when needed, of course. I have greater plans afoot, and
Well, as long as they are in the tenets of man, I'm sure all of the plans are ordained for you. They are ordained for you from man. She just cusps his tiny hands. I hope you are going for the code, and you are keeping well.
I try to stick to the code as much as I possibly can. I fear that one day I might have to break it, but we will see when that day comes.
So I think you're a good dog at heart. Others,
Yes.
there are some that are, looks over to Padel, difficult, but I think truly inside you are a good dog.
Thank you. And do a little bow. And may I, do you like me to sit with you?
Oh, please come sit with us. Just kind of, Monsieur, can you could you make space for our helpful young man here?
I don't need much space. Tiny space.
Bourbon looks towards you with this sort of like incredulous look, and then slowly side eyes to the seats like on the other side of the table, and then almost spreads his paws out to take up more room.
Adrian takes that as like whichever paw you're extending more, that's where you want them. Where you want him to sit.
Oh no!
In which
So we'll pull up a chair like at that spot. Like,
sure. There's a as you pull in, and then I'll sort of like try to shimmy the seat, but the chair's surprisingly heavy. And realizing that I've just touched the underside of the seat, Bourbon shudders and my gloves, please, from the suitcase, my gloves.
Abigail opens up the holdall and gets out the gloves and brings them over and just sort of holds them out.
My dear, you should be sitting with us. Why are you over there? Padel!
Bourbon! It's okay.
What are you doing?
I'm happy over there.
I was of the impression that this was a table for fine company, and clearly I was wrong. And I'll take the gloves, pinkies out as I place them on. And I will then move round to the other side of the table, so it's just me looking at the two of you, and then Abigail's maybe standing a bit awkwardly.
Very awkwardly, yeah. She's just like, "Can I go?"
what do you mean? Not good company with a nose like that? Of course she. Come. See,
She's so.
it is beautiful.
You, my darling, come sit down.
Abby just sort of sits, looks as if she has no idea what she's doing.
So, I mean, there's obviously a reason why the four of you are here. Four very different dogs, such as yourself, is here, and it's to do with the ancient meal known as the English breakfast, which is exceptionally good in this inn. Bourbon, even with your very delicate palate, you know that the English breakfast here is exceptional. And you feel like you need to partake in the delicacies of, even if it means sort of roughing it a bit with the commoners.
I mean, I would imagine that Bourbon is so used to sort of like reduced, reduced gourmet meals, with just like a leaf with a drizzle of sauce kind of thing. That I must admit, sometimes I like to dabble.
And Abigail, even with you living out in the wilds, you are still fully aware of how good this English breakfast is.
Yes.
As the four of you sort of tangled up, as the four of you sort of settle yourselves down and engage in relatively polite conversations, you suddenly hear like a large bang of some fists landing on a table sort of close by to you, and a couple of dogs sort of shouting angrily at the inn owner. And they sort of go like, I can't believe this. This is outrageous. I can't have this. And they sort of storm out of the inn. While the innkeeper, some of you will know as Gwen St. Bernard, is sort of like, she looks frazzled. She's normally known for a very warm and inviting composure, but she is looking like absolutely frazzled. She sort of sighs, and she walks over to your table and she says, "Oh, good morning, everyone." And you could see almost tears in her eyes, like she is worried about what you're going to ask. She says, "Can I ask what you'd like this morning?"
At this, Adrian will kind of stand up and greet the innkeeper. Senorita, we come for the beautiful the sausage. I mean, surely the breakfast. Tell me you have the breakfast, my dear. Tell me.
As you say the word sausage, she sort of like tilts her head, not really understanding what you said, but then sort of clicks momentarily to know that you've said sausage. And she lets out a very deep sigh, and she says, "I'm really sorry. We have no sausages." We have no bacon. Our meat delivery didn't come today, so we unfortunately can't do our full English breakfast.
For a moment there, I thought the pugs may have eaten them all, but it is worse than that.
I mean, I served as much as I had this morning, but that was from a delivery a couple of days ago. I was meant to get a fresh delivery this morning, but the puppy never came.
Poor boy. Poor good boy.
And you, well, if this is an establishment of fine standing, then surely you will have spares in your parlors or your cellars or your second cellars or your second parlors.
And your backup cellars and your backup parlors.
Or you demand spare meats from the people of the grounds around.
She turns to you and her head tilts even more, because she really doesn't know it. She understands you through your accent. She just doesn't know what the bloody hell you're talking about. She kind of goes like, no, like as I said, I used up all my reserves this morning for the rush, and now it's gone. It's all gone. And as like you're having this conversation, a small little stocky corgi sort of bolts his way through the inn, and he just goes, Tell me you've got sausages." And Gwen sort of looks at him and just kind of went, "No." He's just like,
You're the third establishment I've gone to this morning. No one has sausages.
Bourbon is just utterly confused because how does one run out of sausages? They just appear from the kitchens. The kitchen staff just make them appear, and then they're there.
Yeah, kitchen staff make sausages, right?
You
So
ask,
how can there be no sausage if there's kitchen staff?
you ask your chef for sausages, and the chef makes sausages.
Is that what Morven's saying?
You ask the chef for sausage,
Sausage?
and the chef will bring you sausage.
Gwen sort of looks at you and she says, "I don't know what to say. Like, I have an order that comes in every morning, like fresh sausages made by the butcher, local in the Southgate, and I didn't receive it, and it's looking like no one received their order this morning."
Has anyone been to see the butcher to ask?
I've been working all morning. I haven't had a chance. And the corgi says, "Well, none of my business."
Abigail smells an opportunity to be excused, and she goes, "Well, I guess I'll just be going over to talk to the butcher. We can't have this. Everyone have a lovely morning." And she starts going to leave.
Can I do some sort of NIF check to see what other people are eating?
Yeah, I mean, let's think of a NIF check. A NIF check would be...
Want to do a NIF?
You want to do a NIF. Probably would be a cunning check. Try to do
Yeah.
one for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a D20, right?
Yes. Plus any cunning buffs that you have.
I have none.
Uh-oh.
4.
A 4. You... I mean, even with a 4, you're sort of seeing just a couple of dogs that have like some ales with them, maybe a coffee. They're sort of waiting around to sort of hear for more, but no one's really eating things. There's like a Staffordshire Bull Terrier that's got some eggs in the corner, and he seems pretty pleased. But no one has. With a 4, no one has any meat whatsoever. No sausages, no bacon, no black pudding, just nothing. There's no meat anywhere.
Bad. Very bad.
This is terrible. This is a disaster.
Yes, it is a shame. A curse upon this establishment. It beggars belief.
Abigail's just backpacking her own bags. It's like, well, no reason to be in the city anymore. Time for me to go.
Onyx just stands up and just holds the backpack. Just, wait a moment, my child, my pup. We'll all just. I think this calls for us all to maybe we should all take a look at the butcher and have a conversation together.
Oh.
Well, I just, as a woman of the cloth, I feel, maybe I could have a conversation and talk to these people, and I just don't, with a sausage shortage. I remember I've read stories of the sausage shortage of years ago, and it was all out pandemonium. And I'm very concerned if this is going to be a thing. It's very concerning. Who knows what will happen.
I agree with you, sister. We must have some sort of sustenance before we go. One moment. And Azriel will dig into like a little backpack, little side satchel that they've got, and bring out just a couple of like little Bic treats.
Gwen sort of looks at you and she says, "I've got eggs." You can have eggs if you want.
No, we've no time. We have no time. Let
No
us.
breakfast.
No,
No
we have no
breakfast.
time. We must be going straight to the butcher's. Thank you very much, Adrian. We will all have. Have you got enough for all?
Of course,
Adrian?
of course, of course.
A smacko each.
A Smakovich.
Fabulous.
Smacko for
Takes
you.
them. Just gives them.
Smack
Blessings
over.
of man. Blessings of man. Blessings of man. We will all maintain the sustenance of man. We will all feel for it. It is what he gives us.
Gwen sees as you're all packing up to leave, and she says, "Oh, if you can find out anything, I'll promise you the most slap-up breakfast on the house."
Deal.
My da. Gives the
Um,
cups a hand.
Tail wags a little bit.
The corgi who's there with you, he's just like, "Well, I mean, do you know the way? Do you know the way to the butcher's? I can show you."
Lead the way, son. Lead the way.
So he
Bourbon,
sort of
come on. Hop to.
Abby has not picked up Bourbon's bag. She's only picking up her
he
own
is
bag.
I'm afraid, darling, he is going to be coming with us.
No, that's fine. It's just I'm not carrying his bag.
Bourbon looks up with shock at overhearing that he is coming, and realizing that you're all getting to leave and not wanting to be here, but also struggling with this feeling of disgust of being handed snacky. But then also the still reeling from Gwen saying that she'll feed us eggs, and eggs come from animals, unlike sausages.
You don't go out often, do you, my dear?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about him.
Realizing that everyone's leaving without him, there will be Bourbon will hurry out after you, but my bags, my bag, and then looking around, you said there was a staffy bull terrier in the corner.
Yeah.
Realizing that Abigail has forgotten her duties. I will bribe the bull terrier with the snacky to carry my bags to the butcher's for me.
Give me. Let's have a look.
The staffy's coming.
Give me a presence. Give me a presence check
Okay.
with snacky.
Okay. With
Smacko.
Smacker.
just a straight D20, yeah?
Yep.
Ka-cha-bow. Oh.
Is there anything added onto that presence?
No.
What?
He doesn't hear you. He's too busy with his eggs. He he waggles his jowls so much that a bit of yolk just sort of slips out and just lands on your cheek.
I die. I just cease to exist. Okay, in which case, over the with the whole excuse me, excuse me, when that fails, and then I get splattered with this debris, and I feel my soul leave my body. I will drag my suitcase, complaining loudly all the way.
Yeah.
Like dragging it.
So as all four of you leave the inn, the Beggar's Bowl, and make your way out to the main merchant market, this little corgi who you learn his name is Kai, he's sort of like a tanned coloured corgi with sort of like a white stripe and a white muzzle, sort of like your average looking sort of corgi. He's got a sort of a big fluffy chest that sort of billows out from his shirt, and a big sort of like long hairy tail.
Big booty.
Big booty. He's got the biggest booty, just in the shape of like a plump peach, and it's quite mesmerizing as he walks on his tiny little legs.
Stubby legs.
Adrian is appreciating both sides, both the fluffy chest, which Adrian's quite fond of, and also a booty of that nature.
Well, like as he's walking, Onyx takes one stride for every 3 of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just-
Aw.
The 4 of you, well, the 5 of you reach the market center, and it's bustling with so many other dogs. Not just other dogs. There's like a couple of cats that you can see sort of here and there. There you may see like a you actually see a bird in sort of like fine coloured sort of billowing shirts that are sort of playing lutes and harps to entertain passers-by. Even though that they're quite small and scurrying around, you do also see just sort of like a couple of mice, not so much rats, who in this sort of area are known to sort of be quite conniving and sneaky and, you know, sort of steal what they can. But these mice look like they're sort of behaving themselves. And everyone is sort of very busy in their own little mind, but you can almost hear that there's some sort of like talk on the wind kind of saying like, I was told there was no more sausages. I was told there was no more bacon. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do?
This is how it starts.
This is how it starts. This is the downfall of Pugmire. I don't know. It starts with the sausages. You and Kai sort of weaves his way through the people, where you reach the main butcher shop, and there is a small pup outside, probably quite young, sort of sitting on a box with sort of like his just there go like this, and the shop says closed.
Onyx will just walk straight up to him, bends down. Blessings of man upon you, my pup. What is going on here?
It's rubbish. I don't know what's happened. It never turned up.
What?
You see,
The meat.
yeah, like we get a delivery every day from the farm on the outskirts of the city, and it just never turned up. Like we've mentioned it to the guards. We haven't seen Rambert, who usually does the deliveries, but he hasn't turned up. Like we've told the guards, and they're like keeping their noses to the ground to see what's happening. But we think there's ill play going on. We think they've been ambushed. We think bandits got them on the way here.
Bandits.
Yeah, that's what Mason's saying anyway.
Who's Mason, my child?
Mason, he's the butcher.
Well, where is he?
He's gone to the guards. He's gone to find out what he can do about it, because obviously if he's got no meat, like he's one of the biggest butchers here in Pugmire, really. Like
Yes, he supplies the church.
And if he, you know, he's gone to go and see if any of the other butchers have got any meat, but apparently there's been a massive shortage, and you know, sort of like no one really knows. But when stuff like this has happened before, it's usually been bandits.
Being an ex-merchant, it might be possible that Adrian has some knowledge about like bandits in the past. So he's gonna kind of get to whatever level with this, I don't know, size difference between myself and this other dog, this other person. So just get on the level and pat this other person. I missed the description, Nate, so I'm really sorry.
Pup, but I'm not sure what.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's a
So
pup.
he's a pup. He's got he's rather big for a pup. He's sort of like a reddish, like a golden red with sort of long billowy ears. And he's a red setter, basically.
Okay.
A gangly youth.
A gangly youth. He's got really big paws
Big
that sort of
paws.
sit on his like gangly legs.
That's cute.
Sort
I
of
will-
big flowing red ears.
Go to his level. I'll pat him on the shoulder. I understand.
He's a lot taller than you.
He's sitting on a box, though.
Even
He's
though
sitting
you
on a
sit
box.
box,
You jump onto a box next
Jump
to
onto
him.
you
a
don't
box.
even need to bend down. You're at his eye level with him sitting down.
I just pat him on the shoulder. I understand. I've had trouble with bandits in the past. Yes. Well, we should speak to Mason. Have you heard of any potential injuries at all? Has anybody come back?
No, I mean, we have Rambert. Rambert comes and sees us. He's the one who gives our deliveries. But I haven't seen him since yesterday. And he usually comes every day.
I see. I don't know if there's a way that I can use my trick customer base. It reads, the dog is known as a merchant far and wide, giving them exposure to a wide variety of past, present, and maybe even future customers. If the exchange was a pleasurable experience for the customer, the character can ask for minor help and small favors from them, particularly if plastic changes paws.
Okay. Is that anything that involves a fortune? So for people watching, what Pugmire has is something called a fortune bowl. And it's for the whole group. And there are certain actions that will require a fortune to be spent. We all start with 2. And it's up to me whether or not I add more fortune, and any of these actions take a fortune to use, and we can have up to a limit of 15 fortune in the bowl.
Okay.
So does that trick involve spending a fortune, Chris? Do you know?
It doesn't say so.
Doesn't say, does
No.
it? No.
Because I copied that directly out the book.
Okay. So
But
could you
we
just...
can always shelve it and we can come back to it whilst I kind of
Yeah,
look
I have
through
a
the-
very similar one, but it does cost a fortune. It's the one
Okay.
that comes with, but
Oh.
mine's just related to the church.
There is a note about fortune for the customer base trick.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
the player spends fortune, he can declare that a previously unknown non-player character is a past customer or merchant on
Yeah.
good terms with the dog.
Okay.
I think we all have one of
We
those.
all have
It's
one
just-
of those sorts of things. Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
yeah, they always cost a
maybe-
fortune.
It might be better if I use that with the butcher, perhaps? Is what
Yeah,
I'm
I think we
thinking?
just. It sounds like we just need to go to the guards. So, I think
Okay.
Onyx just kind of pat the pup on the head. Good. Well, keep an eye for the shop. I'm sure it will be worth. Just, in case riots break out. Maybe look after the shop before the end of days. And she just kind of sort of just gestures everyone along, just assuming that they're coming now. Just gestures Abigail, Adrienne, and Borbell, just like, come on, to the guards, we're off, come on.
But
Start stomping.
if you're gesturing, Bourbon has only recently arrived, wailing and protesting, having dragged the suitcase along, and then realizing that you're already going off to your next destination. I look this Bourbon looks this pup square in the eyes, and then, if please look after this suitcase in exchange for this snacky that I've still got from the bull terrier.
Can you do me another persuade? Oh yeah. Like, this is a particularly good snacky that you find out his name is Jacob, particularly likes Jacob Setter. And he just kind of goes like, oh yeah, mister, yeah, sure, whatever, like, brilliant.
Okay, yeah. Well, if it's an 18, then yeah, the snacky. I discarded the snacky that Adrienne gave me.
You wanted to go get it.
I've reached into my personal supply of duck and orange snackies, and I offer
Look a lot
those.
orange.
Duck and orange.
Um,
Yes, I offer one of those.
Jacob sort of looks at
The
it,
whole
not
bag.
completely sure.
The whole bag.
He takes the bag, he sort of picks one out, he looks at it, and sort of like does like a little sniff, gives it a little lick, and then he's just like, his eyes just grow
massive as this is like the best thing he's ever tasted, and he's just like, he literally just rips the whole bag open and just like shovels them all into his mouth, with no complaint from him. So he's quite happy to have
In
the suitcase.
And as he does that, I've already started to make a dash for the others, sort of like hands flapping up by my shoulders as I through the mud. Probably accepting that I'll just have to buy all new clothes to replace the ones in the suitcase.
Brand new, what was it, Poochie?
Yeah.
And
Like Poochie
whatever you're wearing.
Visana, yeah.
Poochie Visana. Jimmy Choo.
Yeah.
Who are you going to next? Are you looking for?
We're looking for the butcher who's talking to the guards. I guess at the front gate, so we'll know where Mason. Onyx will know where the main gate is. So she's just
cool. As you're heading to the main gate, would all of you give me a cunning check?
Just a straight cunning.
Just a straight cunning check, yeah.
Is it possible to add modifiers to, or do we just add them mentally?
I mean, probably you'll have to add them mentally, and
that's
then
fine. It's fine.
Got a 21.
I've got a 14.
You got a 14. I've got a 14, and you got a 10. Sister Onyx, you're probably leading this group of. You're not completely sure how you got on this adventure, but you know that something needs to be done.
A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
Because this is what a good dog would do.
It's what a good dog would do.
Exactly. But as you are leading the charge towards the main gates to see if Mason is there with the guard, your eyes sort of flick down at sort of like a moving, like a small moving creature, possibly a rat. You can see this small rat sort of watching from a corner. As your eyes sort of clasp on his, he goes and he scurries around sort of like the back of that corner that he was on. And with a 21, you see a small chipolata sticking out of his pocket.
It's the rats!
Naughty boy.
Not a good dog.
Is it just the one chipolata, or is it a cartoon-style string of sausages?
It is just the one chipolata. I mean, it's small to you, but to him, it's probably just taking up half of his body.
How far away is he?
He's about 30 feet away, which is close. But he is now scarpered around this corner.
Are we going to give chase? Is that there?
I think Onyx seeing just eyes lock on him. He's this chipolata. She's aghast at the and she just make haste, and she just runs towards this little rat. Just chasing it. She just sort of hoists up her vestments and just off she goes.
Tagging directly as soon as Onyx says make haste, like Adrian's like, oh, and sort of like,
the rat has a sausage. We must get him.
Rat, get rid of me. And I'll go straight to all fours. And I've got a thing called Speedy Runner, which for a tiny dog of my stature means I can. My character's normal speed is 35 feet, but it's 50 feet whilst running on all fours.
Wow,
fast boy.
I think
I'm a tiny fast boy.
Yeah.
You are a prog ratter as well, so you are made for this.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a world-building question.
Sure.
Do the citizens of Pugmire, do we bark?
You can if you want to.
Is it like the war cry.
I mean,
of
to
the
be
massive-
fair, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything in the book about whether or not they bark or not. I mean, it must.
I would assume that they would, but I guess would be like a more of a.
Would it be like people just run along going, ah, ah?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I would imagine
Yeah.
it. Like
Okay.
it's more of a kind of noise. Or you could whinge or moan or howl, and it would all be part of the.
You can do in a woo.
You could do it a woo.
There are 14 instances of the word bark in the handbook. I think
Fair
it's
enough.
fine.
Okay,
Very
very
good.
good, very good.
You can bark.
Okay, is everyone going after this rat?
I mean, Abigail is going to start lolloping after the other two. You all alone.
Well, we're just kind of chasing, but Adrienne is at a pace.
So Adrienne has gone on all fours. Are you staying on two legs, Sister Onyx?
Oh, yes.
I
A
think
sister would never go on four paws.
Abigail's going on to 4.
Going on to 4. Bourbon, need I ask?
Bob wishes he could be on 0 legs right now.
Carriage! Carriage!
Yes. I wish for someone to piggyback me. No, Bourbon is stuck in this cycle of like being left behind, catching up, then realizing everyone's carried on running. So I've stopped checking to see where we're running to, and I'm just in constant pursuit of everyone else. So seeing the lolloping borzoi, that's Abigail is like my tour guide umbrella in the crowds of Pugmire as bumping into people, tripping over. Like it's a sort of thing. Like there's two dogs walking out carrying a crate, and then they're just like, and they have to drop the crate as I go barreling through it.
It's like that old comedy skit where people are drawing a pane of glass across stuff,
Yeah.
and then you stop and you go around the glass, and then you go through another pane of glass.
Yeah, it's a real Mr. Bean moment as Bourbon tries to keep up.
So with Adrienne and Abby, as you go on all fours and go after this rat, you are heavily making pace towards him, but you find yourself sort of at a dead end, and this rat is sort of just he's just sort of standing there like this, kind of going hello.
Where's the chipolata? Do we see it?
You don't see it. He's leaning on the chipolata, toward the back. He's trying to hide it. He's just like, hello.
There's some growling going.
None of that. I've done nothing. I'm just here. I've nothing to see here. As he sort of tries to sidle his way, with his back against the wall, trying to hide this chipolata as he goes around. If you don't, I'm just going about my day. Don't mind me.
Reaching into his little satchel, Adrienne pulls a crossbow out and aims it at this rat and says, "Don't move, you dirty rat."
Onyx comes around the corner and just kind of, Adrienne, I don't think that's quite necessary. There is 3 and a bit. Just looking at Pooh down. There's 3 and a bit of us. I think I can handle it now.
I thought he would escape, and I didn't want him to escape.
Yeah, it's very good. Very, very good. Now, little one, where did you get that chipolata?
What are you talking about?
No, well, don't play coy with us. I can see the chipolata. I can see the chipolata. We're not. Don't pretend. Turn around.
He realizes being surrounded now by 4 dogs, that he's been rumbled, and he
Do a spin around.
turns round.
Yes.
You see this chipolata sort of sticking out of his back pocket.
Where did you get it?
Found it before.
Found it.
Yes.
Where did you find it?
Well, that would be. I mean, don't think it's any of your business, really, is it?
Well, I'm a woman of the cloth. You wouldn't lie to a woman of the cloth.
Yeah, but you do like man stuff. That got nothing to do with me.
Well, we're all part of the plan, my dear. We're all part of it. It is to do with if you like it or not. It's all to do.
I've got
Everything
my
is
own
to do with you.
plans, and it involves this chipolata in my stomach.
To be fair, Onyx, that one chipolata's not going to feed the city, is it?
Well, when you see one chipolata, there's no sausage without a bouquet of sausage. There's no smoke without fire. There's more. Surely he just doesn't have just the one sausage. He knows more. I could see it in his little face.
Do you know more?
Nate, as a question for the guide. Is that
Yes.
your title? How heavy do you think something needs to be before it's categorized as a heavy object? Because by the sounds of it, this rat is quite small in comparison to us.
Yes.
Fine. So how fundamentally could magic paw, which can interact with objects, but not heavy objects, pick this rat up by the scruff of his pants and shake him upside down to see if
if more sausages come
if there are
out.
any more sausages that fall off his person?
The
I would say-
chipolata was about as big as him.
It's him.
Well, yeah.
He's not hiding anymore.
The little cocktail sausages in his pants.
I mean, yeah, if you want to.
Great. In which case, yeah, slightly dishevelled, like the poofy frizzy hair, just sort of like
It's deflate.
slightly deflated from sweat. I point my rod of power at him, and this ghostly paw materializes, sort of like above and just behind the rat, and then swoops down and grabs the bottom of his jacket, top of the top of his trousers, and then picks him up.
Give him a wedgie.
Yes, basically, and then I shake the rat around a little bit.
All right. Bloody hell. Catting. Look, these cats told me. These cats gave it to me. At the gates.
Cats.
They needed a way to sort of sneak past the guards. So I helped them. And they gave me this chipolata.
How did you help them sneak past the guards?
I did a little dance. I'm really good at dancing.
Let's see.
I'm hanging. He's just still hanging. He's twirling round. He's just it's a bit hard. I could probably do it like this. I go something like that.
Adrian just starts clapping rhythmic clapping.
If you put me down, please.
Yep.
Bubble. I mean, this chipolata's not going to go far between the five of us. I don't think. But I can show you. I can show you where they came in.
The magic paw will change what it's holding from the rat to the chipolata, unceremoniously dropping this rat a couple of feet into the ground. It was just a floating sausage in his place.
Could have done that a bit nicer.
Yes, Borbin, you could have done that a bit nicer. I mean,
Yeah, listen to her.
You would have hurt the poor thing.
Yeah. Look at me. Ow.
Oh, Oh, my dear, my dear. Oh, you got a hurty.
I've
An
got a
ouchie.
hurty.
Hurty. Oh, got an ouchie. Oh, my darling. Little stroke. Better? Is that better?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go.
Yeah, but you're going to no, first you're going to show us where those cats you saw those cats.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Okay.
And then we'll give you back your chipolata.
Yes, that's what I want. A chipolata.
No, chipolata after. First. Show us where those pesky
Are we
cats
going
are.
to chipolata and stick this rat?
We are going to chipolata and stick the rat, yes.
Okay. In which case, the magic paw will keep the chipolata just out of arm's reach.
Just floating along with it.
Like a guiding beacon.
And as this chipolata sort of flies out, I mean, do you want this chipolata flying through public?
Guys, you do not want this in public. There will be a riot.
Especially when there's a meat crisis.
It's a chipolata!
He's just like, look, fine. I'll show you. I'll show you where they were, and if like follow me. And as this rat sort of begrudgingly sort of just kind of looks at you, Bourbon, and he's like, chipolata. As he leads you to the large southern gates that welcome people into Pugmire. We'll take a break.
Exciting.
If you want to find out about the meat mystery of Pugmire and how our adventurers sort this one out, you can follow us. You can subscribe to the channel. You can like this video, and you can also hit the notification bell so you know when wonderful episodes like this come out.
Or meat.
Can I just say it feels like this adventure has some pretty high stakes. I'll see myself out.
Julia won't be here next time.
No, I'm sorry. I'll be moving out of the country.
But until then, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Not for now.
I'm so sorry. Bye.